everyone. We're going to graph 2 cycles of the cosine wave. This is our function. So the first thing we want to do, we're also going to, when we're done, graph the reflection. The negative means it's a reflection. But I'm going to graph the non-reflected one first. And I need to get the information. I know that this follows the form y equals a cosine of bx plus c plus d. So basically your amplitude is your 3. Your phase shift equals negative c over b, which will be negative pi over 3 divided by 2, which is negative pi over 6. And when graphing 2 cycles here, this means this is going to be the midpoint between the 2 cycles if you go left and right. So I call this the starting point. Okay. And then what else do we need? We need the period. The period is 2 pi over b, which is 2 pi over 2, which equals pi. And then our new center line is going to be y equals negative 1. That's your d part here. Okay? And so we're going to have this information. Okay, so we're going to start graphing this using this information, so you probably need to write it down. And we're going to start here. And the way I graph it is I first graph the new center line, which is going to be here at y equals negative 1. So this is y equals negative 1. And then from here, my amplitude is 3. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and draw a line here. So this is y equals 2. And for my center line or midline, go down 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is going to be y equals negative 4. Now we're going to look at our phase shift. We are going to start, instead of at 0 here, we're going to start at x is negative pi over 6. So remember, I'll go ahead and put it here. This will be negative pi over 6. Also, my period is pi. So I'm going to add pi to negative pi over 6, which that would be 6 pi over 6. And that ends at 5 pi over 6. So in order to help me graph this better, what I'm going to do is go ahead and label this with pi over 6 here and go all the way to 5 pi over 6. This would be 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6, and then 5 pi over 6. So that's where I'm ending. And then I'm going to find my midpoints. Now the midpoint between negative pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6, you add those up and divide by 2. That's going to be negative 4 pi over 12. And if I leave it in terms of 6, that's going to be negative. That's going to be, it's actually plus. That's going to be 2 pi over 6. So my midpoint is right here. However, my midpoint between 2 pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6 I'm going to go ahead and erase this. If you add that up, that's going to be 2 pi over 6 plus 5 pi over 6 divided by 2, which equals 7 pi over 6, over 12. And that occurs right here. So I'm going to kind of draw this down. This is 7 pi over 12. So I'm going to put some dots here, some points. And the other one is going to be right here, which is pi over 12. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw the characteristic curve of cosine. And I'm starting at negative, that's my starting point, negative pi over 6. So I start at the top here, go down to my points here, and go down to here, go back up to 7 pi over, this is supposed to be 7 pi over 12. Okay, so go back up here, and then at 5 pi over 6, we're back at the very top. And this is your cosine wave from there to there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go to the left, and I'm going to subtract pi. And when I subtract pi, right here, I'm going to get 7 pi over 6. So this changes to 7 pi over 6. And therefore, I'm going to keep just going by 30 degrees here. That's what it is. This would be negative 2 pi over 6. And go down to negative 3 pi over 6. Negative 5 pi over 6. Negative 6 pi over 6. And negative 7 pi over 6. Now, the midpoints, so here's my 5 points here that we used to draw the characteristic curve. My midpoint between, I forgot 4 pi over 6. Let me erase this. So we're going to have negative 4 pi over 6, negative 5 pi over 6, negative 6 pi over 6, and negative 7 pi over 6. All right, so then my midpoint between these two is negative 4 pi over 6. And the other two midpoints are going to occur right here and right here. And this one's going to be, if you add this up, these two up, and divide by 2, you're going to get negative 11 pi over 6, or 12. And this one's going to be negative 5 pi over 12. And then I just draw the points here and draw the curve. So we go to here, down to here, back here, and up to here. And draw your second graph, or second wave. Okay, so there's the cosine wave that's been shifted to the left by negative 30 degrees, or negative pi over 6, shifted down by 1 with the amplitude of 3. And if I look at the domain is your x part, or your angles, basically. This right here is your angles. So my domain is going to be in between negative 7 pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. And my range is your vertical part, and that's right in front of you. That's from negative 4 to 2. So that's going to be from negative 4 to 2. And that's your domain, and this equals your range. Now for the reflection part, what you can do for that is just switch your high and low points. So for example, this point right here, I'm going to move down here. I'm going to keep this point. This minimum point here, I'm going to make a maximum. then move back down here. And I'm just flipping the highs and the lows here, the mins and maxes. And when I draw this, that would be the negative part, the reflection. So that would be y equals -3 cosine of 2x plus pi over 3 minus 1. And if you notice, the domain and range stay the same. Okay, thank you. That's all. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.